Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between, welcome to a very, and I mean very special edition of BoltBlitz Uncut. I'm your host, Booga Peters, and it's a special night. I've been floating this idea around via our esteemed and featured guest, Amy Trask, that we'd be doing this ice cream party here, the BoltBlitz ice cream mixer. I'm not going to say that F word in the beginning because YouTube doesn't like that. But we've pivoted, and I actually have to admit to everyone out there that I kind of blew the secret a little bit. And this is actually going to be a tribute to the fact that Mrs. Amy Trask has been announced as a finalist for the NFL Hall of Fame. Mrs. Trask, listen, I'm a sneaky guy. I do some sneaky stuff. It should be fun, huh?
Sneaky can be good, but
in the right way.
When I get all mushy gushy and emotional, just remember Princess of Darkness, and you're supposed to be frightened of me, okay?
We all are in the right way.
I can help with that, Amy, because listen, I heard Rich Eisen make a reference that when you walk in a room, the Imperial March should be playing. Now, I can't play the Imperial March properly as you know it to avoid copyright, but we did do something with it. Here. For you, Princess of Darkness, the Imperial March, pay you tribute to your all and glory.
You guys have crushed my heart, and I wish I could jump to the screen and hug you and share my ice cream with you, and then make you very afraid of me.
Well, number one, we respect you. It's not a fear thing, but I have to say, when Kyle presented this as the idea, it was minutes before the show. And
excuse me, by the way, I just want everybody watching to know that I got a DM earlier saying, "Oh yeah, wear a costume if you want." I did not realize I would be the only one. Okay, you guys are sort of in costume, sort of. Okay, a little bit.
Well, what you don't know is he's Luigi without pants, and we're not that kind of show.
And your shirt's not showing from down here.
I know. I'm so sorry. Well, I've got several costume changes. So if y'all see the back of the chair, it means I'm changing into another jersey. Here's the deal. I'm a very consistent, boring person. Though a lot of people don't know that about me. They try to convince me otherwise, but I'm incredibly boring. For every year, from every age I could remember, I was always a football player. Now, the jerseys I'm wearing tonight are a bunch of novelty jerseys from movies. We've got one from a movie that's a fake sport. We got a good old Kenny Powers jersey, and then we got some other ones that I'm looking forward to wearing. So if y'all see the chair flip, it's just a costume change because, Amy, I knew you were going to go all the way out. So if I can't really present myself in one, I will do my best to present myself in six.
I'll tell you a story about this costume. And because I don't want to get you in trouble, I won't use the F-bomb that Al used.
We only need 3 more minutes, and you can say all of them.
Oh, then we'll wait. Then we'll wait. No, I'll fudge it. So we were having an event at our facility for kids in the community. We were doing a Halloween party for kids that lived in an area where you didn't necessarily want them going around and trick-or-treating. So we were bringing all the kids in the community into our facility up in Alameda to come trick-or-treat and enjoy it and have a Halloween party. So I, of course, am dressed for the party as a cat, black turtleneck sweater,
all black, I'm sure.
Black leggings. I had a nose, maybe a little better than this. I had whiskers, I had my ears, and I had a black tail. So, I mean, I'm a cat. Whiskers, ears, nose, all in black and a black tail. Well, I'm about to go down, and Al Davis, for those who may not know to whom I'm referring, yells for me to stop in his office. He wants to go over something with me. So I walk into his office, fully dressed as a cat, as I just described. And we go over the document. We have a conversation. We do all the business. And then I need to go straight down to the event. And as I'm walking out, I hear him say to his assistant, "What the was that?"
Fudge.
And the missing word rhymed with truck. What
Got
the
it.
truck was that?
I was curious.
And I hear her say, a cat, Mr. Davis. She's dressed as a cat. And then we got one of his vintage trucks.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm excited about this episode is I'm watching the way that the Bolt fam and hashtag Chargers Twitter carries themselves.
But wait, stop 1 second. I don't understand where I'm supposed to look. Where's the camera? Where am I supposed to put my eyeballs?
If
Kyle,
you look
help me.
a little further to your left.
Yeah, this
That way?
part of your phone.
Yeah, just a hair.
That
Yeah,
way?
you got it. See, this is why she's talented, folks. She takes.
I know. She's literally correcting us as we go through our
I'm
show.
not using a phone, so I don't even know where to look. So just tell
You're
me what
truly an executive producer now, and we're really happy to have you on board. Listen, we do things a little bit differently here. We relax and we have a good time. We have beers. We eat ice cream. And by the way, I need to pub my ice cream, and it's not lactose-free vanilla from Breyers, though I love it. We got a little root beer vanilla float from Great Value, a hidden treasure at Walmart. Don't go there. Order it. Whatever you do, don't go there. Order it online and just get it shipped to you. They also have a peanut butter cup that's delicious. And I'll tell you right now, y'all are missing out.
Well,
What have you got, my dear? Tell me about your ice cream.
I'm not going to tell you the brand of ice cream I'm eating because unless that brand is sponsoring your podcast
Oh,
and
you're
paying
so good at this.
you money, I'm not giving them any advertising time on your podcast. So I will tell you, I have a cookie this size at the bottom of my bowl because you always need a cookie as a foundation for your sundae. And then I have my ice cream. I won't mention the brand in the bowl. And then I have whipped cream and sprinkles. And I think I'm going to add a little chocolate sauce.
I love it. And she should, because now not only have I been, oh no, the tower is falling. Not only have I been taught how to be a better host, but now I'm learning that my ice cream induction is not right. So I got I love cookies too. I'm a peanut butter cookie guy. I like a little oatmeal raisin because I'm old.
My husband likes vanilla.
Well, you heard about mine. Mine's lactose free.
Yeah.
So, by the way, the missus sends her regards. She could not do the sugar-free ice cream because she was out of town over the weekend. So that was a whole thing.
Yeah, so Kyle's wife was going to make a little sugar-free ice cream, and apparently she's phenomenal at it. It just didn't end up working out. Kind of like some of our guests tonight. But what I want to do is I'd like to take a moment on behalf of the guests that really wanted to be here. And I don't read a lot of shit on here. I'm not good at that. I'd prefer to just talk to you guys from the heart. But I really don't want to mess stuff up. So unfortunately, Matt Hamilton, formerly of GMFB on NFL Network, and now the producer and co-host of Up and K Adams show, he was unable to join us, but he had a scheduling conflict. But he wanted to, I want you guys to know that he praised me several times, complimented me over and over again, and he made me feel like I was maybe 5'9" instead of 5'7". So that being said, he also let me know we'll have him back on the show. Listen, Matt is I'm not a big fan of Chiefs fans. Not a big fan of Raiders fans normally, but we have the Princess of Darkness on the show. And one of the things that I tend to complain about regarding Chargers Twitter is the reason it was different back in the day. It was there, and Amy, you can attest to this, I'm sure of it. There was a weird respect, of course, a hatred between the Chargers and Raiders fans, but you know, due to teams moving and the things that have happened, it's kind of depleted to a degree. Can you talk a little bit about things that we've talked about? Because I know you have a ton of stories, but I don't know that most Charger fans, #BoltFam, know that Al Davis started as a Charger. I'm going to punch you, 80. I cannot wait to meet you. He's 6'11", by the way, and I will smack him for fun if I can get a ladder. But anyway, tell us a little bit about what Al Davis said to you about his experience when he was with the Chargers, because I know that was his beginning.
Well, he did have a tremendous experience with the Chargers, and he was also involved in the Spanos family when they acquired the Chargers. Very, very supportive of that. And when I say involved, he didn't have a business role, but you know, he was supportive of the Spanos family. And look, let me tell you about NFL owners meetings. At NFL owners meetings, everyone sits in the same seats at every single meeting. And it's crazy that they don't give you name cards. So you have to get there super duper duper early to get the seats. And when I say super early, I would like sneak through the kitchen of the hotel in the dark to make sure I got the right seats for Al and for me at these 2 per club meetings. But at every single one, okay, back up. There's one.
I'm with you.
One meeting a year that's a very, very large meeting. But all the business gets done at what are called 1 per club and 2 per club meetings. And at those 1 and 2 per club meetings, we always sat straight across from the Chargers. Alex Spanos, Dean Spanos, Jeannie Bonk. Shout out to Jeannie Bonk.
Thank you.
Always brought chewing gum with her, and every single meeting had chewing gum for me. Look, I loved Alex Spanos, and and look, when I say love, I don't mean it in a weird or creepy way.
I love that you point that out on social media too, but you still find a way to share your love with people.
I do. Oh gosh. And they kept the meeting rooms so cold. It was always freezing. And Alex was complaining and I was complaining. And at one meeting, they always had out in the lobby area these giant clothing racks where all the people that made the branded merchandise for the league displayed their items. And one meeting after a break, Alex comes in and he had gone to the branded merchandise area and he put on 3 jackets, 2 hats, mittens, and a scarf. And he came back into the room and said, turn down the air conditioning. It was great. But I just loved sitting across from Alex Spanos, Dean Spanos, Jeannie Bonk. And, the thing to understand is, were we rivals on game day? Absolutely. Did we want our teams to destroy one another on the field? Absolutely.
Every single time.
But were we colleagues on other days? Yes, we were. That's what people don't really remember all the time. 32 teams are business partners. So you want to just destroy each other on game day, but you collaborate on other days.
Well, and that, I love that you bring it up that way. I think it's one of the things that fans forget is y'all, the owners, every single one of them are part of the same business. And whether they like each other or dislike each other, that shit kind of doesn't matter. They're all working for each other to make sure that the league is as successful as possible, at least via their own terms. I'm almost done. I've been eating a lot. I'm so sorry.
Well, did you see me step away?
No, don't you dare step away.
I got more. I just moved away and got more.
Oh, let's go. No, well, then I'll run upstairs and Kyle can take over.
Wait,
Amy Trask just told you to step your damn game up, is what I heard.
I know, but she did that with the lactose-free vanilla too, and it's delicious. You know what
this is?
How many cookies did you make?
No, I don't cook. Oh my God, I hate to cook. I'll tell you something funny about that. No, I do not cook. It stresses me out. Nothing stresses me out more than cooking. And my best friend says to me, let me get this right. You worked for Al Davis for 30 years and cooking stresses you out? But anyway, this was my mom's. This was the family's, and my mother called it the ice cream tray. And whenever we had ice cream, this was filled entirely. It usually held like 9 half gallons plus toppings. And so when all my friends would come over and my mom would say, do you want ice cream? And they'd say, yeah. She'd bring out the ice cream tray full of ice cream, full of toppings. And I got the ice cream tray. My brother wanted me to have it. My nieces and nephews wanted me to have it. But you'd go to your other friend's house and they'd say, do you want ice cream? And they had like one little pint. My mom had,
and it's split among 5 people.
9 to 12 half gallons all the time.
I just want to give a shout out to the comments while we're here, because it's one of the things that I'm kind of horrible at about this show. Props to everybody in here. By the way, I want to point out the Electric Edge podcast. She's one of the best people doing it in the Chargers universe. And this is a show and has always been one that celebrates our female proprietors, if you will. She really locks it down and she's very good at providing the right data. We really love seeing you in the comments. I really appreciate you stopping by, especially when we're celebrating a pioneer in the field of the NFL. Amy, you've been around a team that is
I got to tell you real quick. We do guest spots if you need us, Electric Egg. Just saying.
She knows. We're working on it, I promise. I got her. She and I have talked actually several times today among the 300 other people I've talked to. But Amy, this is important as far as I think what Chargers fans can gain from this interview, especially other than the amazing things you have to say and the incredible ice cream tray. My parents were slacking. But you're a part of an organization that has moved around frequently. The Raiders are a team whose fans travel very well. If you could, and I know that it's an opposing team, and again, we're frenemies, but if you could give any advice to the Chargers fans who've been on the fence or who have completely left the Chargers fandom once they move to LA, is there anything you could say that would maybe allow them to open the door to themselves and maybe be a Chargers fan again?
Well, I don't make judgments for other people. And I was not with the Raiders when Al moved the team from Oakland to Los Angeles. I might be old. I'm not that old.
Yeah, right.
I was with the Raiders when Al chose to move the team from Los Angeles back to Oakland. So I understood and saw firsthand how gut-wrenching that is for fans when a team is moved. But that is the reality of a lot of teams, not just football, but other teams as well. And everybody has a choice to make. Do they want to continue to support their team or not? What I would say to Charger fans, and I grew up in Los Angeles, and I define California as the coast. Beach. There's a great song from like 1974, Beach Baby, Beach Baby. And San Diego is one of the most magnificent spots in this state. But you know what? The whole coastline, San Diego, and then you drive up the coast and you go by San Onofre. We'll forget for a minute that there's a nuclear reactor there. We'll skip that part. And then you keep going up the coast and you get to, Newport Beach, and you keep going and you get to Marina and Venice Beach. And then you get to the Palisades and, he's going to change costumes. And then you get to Malibu and Ventura. And I guess my point is I'm a big believer in the concept West Coast, best coast. So your team is still a drive from San Diego. And I understand if it was heartbreaking and you don't want to come, but come on up to LA. We got good ice cream.
Good ice cream. Is there? So I know there's going to be a time, if I continue doing this thing, Amy, where I'm going to end up back in LA. Is there a good ice cream joint I need to check out?
My deck. Come on over.
Let's go. Okay. It's that kind of party.
I got you. Bring your wife, bring your kids. Come on over. I got you for ice cream.
How am I supposed to say no? I might even have to just let the blood sugar jump for that one. By the way, let me let Booga in now that he's done.
I'll have some sugar free for you.
My lady, thank you. But let me let Booga in since he's got his costume change here wrapped up. Hold on.
It's just Coop from basketball. That's all. I was going to do this thing where everybody got to guess the novelty jerseys I was going to wear, but that's kind of useless. Amy, one of the things that is important to me for having you on this show is, again, the surprise, but my mother, she passed in 2003. She taught me more about the cover two and where to actually not only adjust and realize where the safeties are, but don't forget cornerback depth as well. She taught me that duo was power without pulling. She really taught me a lot of the details about this game. And one of the things I've always done is celebrated women on the show. As all of you already know, Amy Trask is a finalist for the NFL Hall of Fame. I can't even imagine what that felt like. Yeah, we're all clapping. I hope you know. Mrs. Trask, please tell me how that felt for you and what can we do to help?
I will, but I want to tell you, I'm not very good at looking at comments that pop up while I'm talking.
Neither am I.
Because I'm focusing on you. But
it's required.
Jessica just put something on the screen. Jessica, that is brilliant. She corrected me. It's not Pacific Standard Time. It's Best Coast time. I am using that for the rest of my life. We're on Best Coast time because let me tell you something. I was in the NFL for almost 30 years. Every single document, every single memo, every single email we got, always in New York time. And I would always say, hi, we have a time zone too. And I would always convert everything to California time. I still do that in my work life. But now, Jessica, I'm using Best Coast time from now on. That is brilliant.
The fact that we're talking about Jessica right now provides me the perfect opportunity to do this again. Thank you, Kyle. The BoltBlitz is always looking for somebody to endorse for Fan of the Year, the Chargers Fan of the Year. Jessica will be able to tell us in the comments exactly how many games she's been to in a row. I know it was 58 a few weeks ago, and I'm so sorry that I don't know exactly, because when you get to that many, it's hard to keep track.
Can we lead with more than 60? Let's start there.
It's about there. I mean, I think it's 60.
Well, first of all, she should get like the Pulitzer Prize for coming up with Best Coast time.
Yeah, as well as she's traveled to watch these Chargers for the last 5 years, regardless of the record, and just it didn't matter what stadium they were in, whether it was overseas in Brazil. I mean, she's been at so many games, and honestly, we had a very private conversation in DMs regarding, she said, "Why don't you ever think about, being the fan of the year?" I'll never be the fan of the year. I'm not as good as these. I don't go to these games like I used to. I can't. My health doesn't allow me to. But what I do feel comfortable doing is endorsing the right people to get the award, not the Philadelphia Eagles hot dog vendor that won it last year. I'm sorry his health was bad, but that wasn't fair. Not these people who are brand new fans. It's the people like Jessica Thompson who have been sharing pictures, for over a decade at very special events. Ironically enough, Jessica and I were at MCAS Miramar together at the same time, had no idea at all who each other were. Thomas, may he rest in peace, Thomas Powell, my former co-host, he's passed away now, unfortunately, but he and I were there at MCAS Miramar, and I'm fairly certain I saw Jessica. But that being said, we had no idea. We were there at 11, and then we skipped 12, and then it was 13 and 14 at MCAS Miramar. This is a fan that I love that James is backing up that BCT, Best Coast time. By the way, watching that.
Wait, is he backing it up or is he making, I can't tell. Is that a smile or is that?
That is a smile, Mrs.
No. I know James personally. He's going to come here in February and help me fix my house.
Okay, I
He's
didn't know if it was
all the way
a smile
legit.
or if he was sticking his tongue out.
I would have known better than to endure the wrath of the Princess of Darkness if he was talking ish. Come on.
Wait. Are you in charge of putting the comments up?
I am.
Oh, so only the comments you like go up?
No.
You are powerful.
Oh, I put up plenty when I feel like I'm so good at it.
I'm supposed to do it, but Booga will impose his will because it is his show. Let's be real.
It's not an imposing of will. I see, we're getting a lot of sudden support in the chat, and I've told the chat this before, and I hope that y'all believe me and appreciate this. Thank you, Hugo. Yeah, you love Tom, and we all did, Bubba. We're a different show. We're a little loosey goosey, and we kind of mess around. And obviously, the beer pyramid has been earned today. But as you can tell, I still have a good time, and we're here to celebrate the Princess of Darkness. We've talked about Al Davis. We're going to do something here real quick, and I need everybody to stop commenting for the next 10 seconds after I finish talking.
Uh-oh.
Raider Nation has lost two incredibly important figures. We'll start with a player that my father very, very much respected in George Atkinson. And then, of course, I'd be remiss if I did not bring up the great Carol Davis, wife of Al Davis. We're going to take 10 seconds right now, bow our heads, and it doesn't matter who you pray to or what you believe in. Just show a little respect for some NFL greats in the game that we love the best. Please start in 10 right now. Thanks, y'all. Really appreciate everybody for doing that. Listen, this is a Chargers show, but I was raised to do things the right way. The Raiders-Chargers rivalry has been one that has literally excited me my entire life. People have boogie monsters and monsters they're afraid of. You know who I was raised to be afraid of? Bo Jackson. Howie Long. If we want to keep the division going, I was terrified every time the Chargers played the Broncos. John Elway, are you kidding me? I grew up in that area where there were just, some of the rules were a little loosey-goosey as far as what happened off the field. But that being said, the game was just a little bit different. It was a lot more violent. And this is going to sound horrible for a guy that's my size, but it's the thing I enjoyed the most about it. You got to hit people and do things that if you did them on the street, you would be arrested. You're a Raider for life, Amy. Talk to me about some of these Raiders, of course. And then if you have anything to say about either George or Carol, we'd love to hear it, please.
Well, I started my career with the Raiders as an intern in 1983, and I started full-time not too long thereafter. And look, the discussions about women in sports and women in business, those weren't even conversations then. When I walked into my first NFL owners meeting, I was the only woman in that room, and I was the only woman in that room for some time. And the reason I mention that is not once during my career, from the start through the time I decided to leave, did I sense from any player any resistance whatsoever to the fact that I was a woman. And that was both players on the Raiders and players on other team. Are you contributing? Can you help? Are you making us better? And they just weren't concerned with my gender. I will never, ever, ever forget. I get goosebumps. Not only won't I forget, I will, I cry when I think about it. I shall cherish it forever. Someone else who passed away, Gene Upshaw, and something he said at the very, very outset of my career. I hadn't been there very long at all. I was at practice entertaining some of our business partners And it was towards the end of practice when teams let the media onto the field. And the media came out, and one of the reporters covering us said in a very loud voice that it was clearly designed for everyone to hear. Oh, and Gene Upshaw was at practice that day. He wasn't with us anymore as a player, but he was at practice that day visiting. Hey, Gene, what's it like to have a girl working for the Raiders? And Gene, in his booming, booming, booming voice, she's not a girl. She's a Raider.
Wow, let's go.
I just,
when you heard that.
I swelled up to where I think I was as tall as Gene and as big as Gene, and that will stay with me forever. I was covered in goosebumps when he said it. I'm covered in goosebumps now, sharing it with you. That was my experience with Gene, and you mentioned George Atkinson, who we just lost, and just I always used to say of George, and there's a story behind it. I won't bore you with it, but George loves something I said regularly, which is, remember the, walk softly and carry a big stick?
Oh, of course.
Well, I said, walk softly and bring a safety. And he loved that. Early in my career as well, I had to go into a room and I had to really give some people, not with the organization, but people with whom we were meeting, I really had to, give it to them hard and tell them stuff they didn't want to hear and be very stern. And I went in and I just thought, damn, I was good. They really listened to me. Did you see them? And then I turn around and standing right behind me the whole time is a safety, just like that. Like they were not going to screw with me with that safety standing right behind me. So that's when I started saying, walk softly and bring a safety. And as to Carol Davis, I never speak for Al. I've never done that. I never will. I don't believe in speaking for people or putting words in their mouth. I will simply tell you my impression and what I gleaned over 30 years. That was true love.
That's beautiful. Wow. So when I hear stuff like that, and everybody's going to think I'm overreacting because they hear the words true love. For those of you who know, after my divorce, I was just drunk and I was a party favor for any woman who just wanted to take advantage of me, so to speak, because I wanted to do that as well. When I hear true love, I think that transcends what even this show is about, other than the fact that we just love the sport of football and we love the Chargers. And it may be a bit confusing for the Bolt fam and the Chargers fans out there that we're hosting a show where we dedicate it to a Raiders great, one of the greatest Raiders of all time. But she's not a girl, she's a Raider. And I appreciate that. And I will do everything I can to push that out there. You really have established some things that, as I've told you privately in DMs, my mother would not believe where the NFL's at. I mean, female officials, female coaches, my mom would not believe it.
When the league appointed Sarah Thomas to coach the Super Bowl, so many people reached out to me and said, oh, they're just doing it to be politically correct. They're just doing it to make it. I'm like, oh, no. The league wants one thing in officiating in the Super Bowl. They want it done right. And they don't want controversy. They're putting the best people in. And if they didn't think she was one of the best, she wouldn't be there. Let me tell you one other thing about Chargers. And I'm not going to speak for the Chargers. So
you never speak for anybody. We love it.
Charger fans, I'm not speaking for the Chargers. I'm telling you my impression from my years in the league. We liked each other a lot better than meaning the Chargers and the Raiders liked each other a lot better than we liked those other two teams in our division. Also, by the way, when I started in the NFL, Seattle was in the AFC West too.
Say that again. I'm so sorry. When I
started in the NFL, Seattle was in the AFC West.
Oh, yeah, no. See, most fans don't know that about the AFC West.
I'm not going to speak for the Chargers, but my impression was we liked each other a lot more than we liked those other teams where, you'd go to Denver and you wouldn't complete a pass and you'd hear incomplete. Oh, my God. I still have just PTSD from that.
And I'll add this, Amy, just in the name, even though I'm a kid from Florida, native and all of that. My first podcast was the Student of the Game. My next one was the NFC West Recess. Now, I know it's not the AFC West, but the tagline was battling West Coast bias one day at a time. So while I may not be signed up for this whole Best Coast thing.
We'll get you.
First of all, listen, I worked at a hospital for too long. I'm not trying to get up that early again. Second, the other piece is I have done my best to bring to the forefront football that isn't fairly accounted for. You know, the Chargers need to be getting more attention. I had just on a show I guested on earlier today. I won't use the bell because I don't want to draw Booga's ire, but I will say I'm campaigning over here for teams out west that don't get their props. You're not hearing about Justin Herbert, John.
I gotta interrupt you and tell you something about Justin Herbert.
Please.
Would you like to know who on CBS Sports on a television show? It was the show that we did, and now I've given you a hint as to who it was because I said we did the show on CBS Sports Network prior to the draft when Justin was drafted. And we were each assigned to say, you know, who a certain team should take, who is the player that really should go higher than people think, who is the gem that's not being focused on. Oh, I just ended a sentence in a preposition. Who's
You
not?
did. I wasn't going to say anything.
I hate that. Who
I
is
do
the
it occasionally
gem?
in tweets, it's okay.
Who is the gem who's not getting enough focus? And someone on that TV show, I won't say the name, but it rhymes with Shmamey.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Said Justin Herbert.
Does her last name line with class?
Justin Herbert was not used in college in a manner that maximized his skills and his strengths. And it wasn't until a bowl game where people thought, oh, wait, they're using him in a manner that really maximizes his strengths. So I said, Chargers, go get Justin Herbert. So, and I said it on TV, so there's a record of it. So when you guys win a Super Bowl with Justin, send me some ice cream, would you?
All of it, all of the ice cream. Here's the deal: you were ahead of the trend, and I couldn't agree more.
I'm putting some more whipped cream on.
Please do. When he was at Oregon, it was just like his NFL career in that they were constantly recycling offensive coordinators. This guy's played for like 6 or 7 offensive coordinators, and now they've settled on Greg Roman. I do believe that Greg Roman is getting a bad taste around the Twitter sphere or X sphere or whatever the heck everybody calls it. But that being said, I do understand why it's there. But if you did not watch or have not watched each and every game of Justin Herbert, he's just a different guy. He's a special player. They were talking, and this is off a little off schedule, but he was talking to a reporter today at the Bolt, and the reporter brought up his senior year baseball pitching stats. Herbert had a point. There's not a number in front of the point. 0.66 ERA as a baseball pitcher, obviously, for those of you who are not, that's earned run average. And his response was, I guess I got lucky. Sure, you definitely are lucky, or they're just incredibly unlucky that you're as good as you are. It's weird because if you watch his basketball highlights, he's dunking on fools, and he can, of course, pass and distribute the ball. He's special, Amy.
3 things. 1, why am I the only one that's still eating? It doesn't matter. I'm going to keep eating.
I've eaten 2 bowls. If I eat any more, my GI meds kick in.
2, what does your shirt say?
It says, oh my gosh, Myrtle Beach Mermen. Okay. So that is from the show Eastbound and Down. And Amy, I know you're a Raider, but I hope you haven't watched it. It's a little greasy, if you will.
Okay. Number 3.
It's got Danny McBride in it, and they do some off-color jokes and some stuff that's a little tough for some people to digest. I'm a writer and an editor, and I fake being a comedian, so I very much appreciate it. I very much like wearing the Powers jersey and Danny McBride. I know you're not listening, but love you, brother.
And number 3, I love Jim Harbaugh. He worked with us at the Raiders.
Jim and I
were together at the Raiders for the whole period of time that Jim was there. Al loved Jim. Al really, really loved Jim. And I loved working with Jim. He was just tremendous to work with. So there you go. I love your head coach, and you drafted the person I told you to draft. So there you go.
And you told us, and we did it. So I guess we're good listeners. This has been so fun. You're eating ice cream. I've eaten as much as I can because, again, we don't want my GI prescriptions to kick in. I just need you to know we don't want that, Kyle.
Yeah, listen, I know we've had some warm moments, and because Amy has reminded me that the 49ers no longer have Jim Harbaugh as a coach, I'm just going to go ahead and take that over here now. But listen, I know we've had some fun, but it's time to get a little controversial here. And I know that this show isn't known for the hard questions, but I have one that I need to hear from both of you. And it comes from a comment here from Richie Farley here, who talks about, we know Richie, who talks, he says some stuff here that I don't know will be universally appreciated, but he proclaims chocolate is the undisputed king of ice cream.
I do love a good chocolate. Amy, I need you to take this one over, though.
You do you, Richie. To each his own, to each her own. My husband, to whom I have been married almost 40 years, eats vanilla ice cream.
It's delicious.
Does that. Now, Richie, I like things that have chocolate in them, but I don't like ice cream that is just a smooth flavor. I like ice cream that has things in it. Bits and pieces and chunks and nibbles and whirls and swirls. So, chocolate chip or chocolate chip cookie dough or mint chip or cinnamon swirl. I like ice cream that has stuff in it. I don't like just plain smooth ice cream. But Richie, if you like chocolate, you do you.
I love that we really made this a debate about ice cream in this moment, because that's why we're here, except for the fact that we're here to celebrate the fact that you are Amy Trask. You are the princess of darkness. I know it was a little bit of a surprise, but you and I have talked again for years, and I had never had you on a show before the last one, and even though
you're never getting rid of me now. You are
no. Well, I'm a very persistent person, as you know. I don't give up very easy, as my ex-wife and any other woman I've been with. What I like to share right now is this should be a fun relationship. And I think that other relating Charger shows out there should maybe take a little bit of a card from this and employ that within what they decide to do, what they do with their shows. This is not about, Chargers Raiders, or, unfortunately, Ben Albright could not be here tonight. He really wanted.
But we love him.
Ben. So let me do this. So I'm going to embarrass him if he does tune in and listen to this later. So about, I don't know, it was probably 7 or 8 years ago, maybe longer. I don't remember, but I was in a completely different situation. He was a guest on my show, and I had thought that he had hung up because he was a call-in guest. And I start talking about how, you know what, it'd be so cool to have that many connections. And he's probably my weird man crush in the media world. And I'm just so glad that we had him on the show. I hope you all appreciated him being here as much as I did. And you hear this. I'm like, no. Hey, Ben, Mr. Albright, is that you? I don't talk to most people like that. He was very clear to say, yeah, thanks for the compliment. Oh, Mario's here.
Hi. Is your dad going to give you some ice cream?
Am I going to give you some ice cream later?
Yeah.
He says,
what's your favorite flavor?
What's your favorite flavor ice cream, buddy?
Chocolate.
He says chocolate.
Oh, he's with Richie.
He's with Richie. That's right. But he's going to do
sprinkles?
Bro, do you see what she's holding? Hold up again, Amy. She's asking if you like sprinkles.
Yes.
He says,
let's go.
Obviously a very intelligent young man.
She says you're very smart, buddy. What do you say?
Thank you.
Okay.
So polite.
I love parents who teach their children to say thank you.
We appreciate you, Mario. Thank you so much for
Mario.
BoltBlitz Uncut.
So there you go. Now you know the true brainchild of that costume pairing.
I do.
Oh, see, what nobody else gets right there is supposedly, and I believe him, he and I talked about this Mario Luigi thing, and I was supposed to be in a Mario costume. And he's like, no, I'm going to plan ahead just in case Dave is Dave, and I'm going to have my kid do it instead.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even, I'll save you from this. Like I said, well, I told him I was thinking Luigi or Maui from Moana, and because the wig is awful and this looks better on camera anyway. So, and he goes, he was all guilty about it. It was adorable. Amy's like, oh, should I be Mario? I'm like, bro, that role's taken. Okay. It's a whole thing.
Oh!
I dunked on you. You didn't do anything wrong this time.
I got sick again, and I've lost like 13 pounds in the last 3 weeks. Mario wouldn't have worked. I would have been a short Luigi.
Does Addie pronounce it Addie or Audie?
It's 80,
80. Okay.
Think of the number 80 but put a D in it, and his
I got
name's Adrian.
Adrian, I'm just not a gelato girl. I hear you on the other one. I'm just not a gelato girl. It's a little too foo-foo for me.
Oh, boy, Amy, if you knew, and I'm going to set the table for this. Adrian Simons is 6'11", about 335. He just finished attending Duke Manyweather's UK offensive lineman group. The fact that you, of all people, of course, is going to call out a man of that stature, no one is surprised. And
I didn't call him out. I called the gelato out.
Well, of course, but I
love 80. I just don't love.
Oh no, you would adore him. I promise. His accent's adorable. He's just a phenomenal, like 6'11" teddy bear, if you will.
Hi,
He's
80.
just got a horrible opinion regarding gelato. He's a co-host on this show, by the way. He's just a little busy. He lives across the pond, and it's actually about 1:43 in the morning there.
Oh.
He's awesome. He's always here supporting us when he can't be here. And we have I've seen too many mint chocolate chips. It tastes like medicine. Amy, back me up here or tell me I'm an idiot.
And look, everybody gets to like what they like. I like mint chocolate chip. It's not at the top of my list, but again, I like things that have things in them. So I like chips and nuggets and bits and things like that.
Like I said, if you get bored, root beer and vanilla float. And then, of course, the one I mentioned during the show, I won't bring up the lactose-free vanilla, but I also will never bring up a brand name again other than
if they ain't paying you a sponsorship dollar, don't mention their name. Why would you give them free advertising?
I did get Buffalo Wild Wings several times doing that, by the way. But that being said, they're a little different because I drink a lot of beer and they're like, we can make money off this guy.
You want to know what my nickname in college was?
Oh, of course I do. Why wouldn't I?
One beer. Because that was my limit. One beer. Like one beer and I was tipsy. So they called me one beer and I was absolutely tipsy. So all my friends called me one beer because that's all I could have.
My friends call me a drunk.
I think I know what it is, Amy. God blessed you with a tolerance for ice cream headaches, but did it at the expense of being able to hold your alcohol.
There you
I
go.
think that's a fair exchange.
Totally fair. Totally fair. No, I could have one beer and I was tipsy, and that's the case to this day. So my nickname was One Beer.
What's your favorite wine?
Well,
I've seen people wine pick. Talk to me.
I spent years on the. First of all, I like beer. I just only have one, and if I'm having wine, I have one glass. But I spent quite a few years on the board of directors of Farniente, so I have an affinity in my heart for that.
Yeah,
and I am allowed to mention the name because I was on the board of directors, and they sent me wine.
Well, then that would be appropriate. You're teaching me over and over again as we go throughout the show. Amy, I really want to talk to you about this part, though. You saw your name pop up. You're on the list. And I will admit, I did get a little early information regarding that. And that's kind of the reason we pivoted in the beginning. It's not just because, of course, I respect my mother, rest in peace, but it was I really think that the figureheads of our league need to be celebrated. And I think that there are so many, and I'm going to say this, insecure men that are still in power positions in the NFL that I'm not sure it will be appreciated enough. I don't want to say while I'm here, I'm not that sick, but I want to make sure that you know how much you're respected by even Chargers fans. And I mean this, I've talked to so many people who unfortunately were unable to be here. We had Blazer, from the actor from Dodgeball, Brandon Malawe. He was going to show up and do it just didn't work out. He wasn't able to do it. The drummer from Pink, Mark Schulman, wasn't able to. I reach out to a lot of people. And then I need to get this statement out, and I put it on Twitter. And I just want to show everybody, or further reinstate the respect that our gal, Amy Trask, deserves. And this is just the statement from Ted and Linda Hendricks, whomever their representative is. And you told us about it, of course, on Twitter and how much you appreciate it. But sorry, Mr. Hendricks cannot join the ice cream party. Big ice cream fan here. More importantly, an even bigger Amy fan. You can relay our greetings and tell her we really miss her. Ted and Linda. Ted and I are just recent, as of the last, couple weeks, Facebook friends. And I sent him a friend request out of the blue, and he accepted. And then we started talking. And it just turned out he wasn't able to join. Tell me about Ted and Linda, please. I mean, the Mad Stork. He's one of the few players my father would look at. He's a mean guy. He wasn't real big. He was about 6'1", 220. But he said, whatever you do, you see a guy like Ted Hendricks, turn the other way and run.
Well, when I read that, what you put out on Twitter, I actually cried. It meant more to me than I can possibly express succinctly. People know Ted as the Mad Stork. They know him to be the player he was. I will tell you this, as strong and dominating and magnificent and powerful and tremendous as he was on the field, even more so off the field. He's bilingual. He's he's just extraordinarily intelligent. Beyond that, phenomenally wise and a good human being. I just can't say enough good things about Ted and about Linda and the support and encouragement they offered me throughout my career. Well, it just, when you put that out there, it melted my heart.
Well, it was intentional, and it's not like some exponential amount of hard work went into it. They're those kind of people. They saw. I mean, they had whomever the representative is, that runs their Facebook account. They saw a message from me, a Chargers fan who hosts a podcast on YouTube. That we're a little shy in the numbers right now, but they responded very kindly. I read it to you verbatim, and they were very, very quick to do so. And I will tell you, I lose track of time when I'm trying to scramble to get this show to be what I think that it should be, that you deserve, if you will. And they still responded. So I think the point of this is to let you know that no matter who you've encountered, whether it's on social media, the right way or the wrong way, whether it's your dealings with the Raiders or within the league at all, I hope you are able to allow yourself to feel all the love, because it's important.
Thank you very, very, very much. That Ted said, or the representative shared what Ted and Linda conveyed.
I believe it was Linda, but I'm not sure.
And that you shared it means the world. So thank you both. And, look, social media, there are people who use it in a manner that I find very, very troubling. People ask me, why do I stay on social media? And the reason is this. Look, we can all disagree with one another, but we have got to learn. And when I say we, I mean we as a society, we as a world, that we can disagree with one another, but do so agreeably. There's this great meme out there of two guys, and one of them says, we disagree about everything. We don't share one thing in common. We argue about politics. We argue about business. We argue about the economy. We argue about everything. And then you know what we do? We go have a beer. One of the things I do on social media is when someone disagrees with me in a manner that's kind of nasty or very nasty or mean. I sound like an 8-year-old saying mean.
No, you don't.
I respond when I see it. I respond and I say, you know what? Fair enough. We disagree. Fine. But you don't need to be mean when you're disagreeing with someone. You don't need to be nasty when you're disagreeing with someone. And I can't tell you how many times the person responds and says, you know what? You're right. I do disagree with you, and I didn't need to be rude. I could have disagreed with you in a responsible manner. So I'm going to continue to advocate exchanging thoughts in a reasoned and reasonable manner and disagreeing agreeably. And if I can change one person's mind, well, yay.
So what I love there, and I've seen it countless times, literally over the last, not decade and a half, but however long we've been Twitter followers of each other, is the disagreeing agreeably, or however it is that you put it, because you're smarter than me. I think that's important. It's okay to not agree with each other, but
right.
And I'm guilty. And there are plenty of people who've seen me over the last 15 years on social media lose my shit every now and then when somebody goes after one of my people. I'm not real good at not defending my family, my friends, or acquaintances. It doesn't matter. If you've been nice to me, I feel it's my job to make sure that I repay that nicety, if you will, with a little bit of respect as far as when it comes to the way that people attack you. I love that you've been so overly and outwardly kind to the people who are like that.
Well,
so why is it so easy for you and so hard for me?
And who knows? We each have things at which we excel and things that, are harder for us. But the reason I brought that up is there's an analogy, the analogy in sports is we can root for different teams, but we don't need to be jerks when we're doing it. We can root against one another when our teams are playing and yet do so in the spirit of sportsmanship. And that's important.
Look at the players after these games. And guys,
Right.
we're gonna wrap it up with Amy here in a little bit because she spent so much time with us. The ice cream smells.
And by the way, the entire time we've been on, I've been eating ice cream. You guys were very responsible, very restrained. I have not stopped eating this entire time. And by the way, I'm hoping you would tell me if like I had sprinkles in my face or something.
No, I can't do that because it makes it more fun.
She also complete grace, Amy. Don't let this hater get in your way. It's pure ballet watching you eat ice cream and perform.
Well, then I'm going to add more sprinkles.
Yes, as you should.
Upping the level of difficulty. That's her response, folks. This is the same lady that just told Booga to step his game up and called out a 6'11" lineman. This is what I'm talking about. This is why she brings the safety.
And she mentioned it earlier. For all of the things that anybody is going to say to her on social media, despite how much I love you, John Kegley, despite how much love she has for literally everybody out there, the relationship that her and Al had, I can imagine would be difficult for a lot of people in your position to handle. And it wasn't just a relationship. It was a congruence of ideas and how to move forward and literally introduce new ideas. Remind me, and I know how this goes, but I don't think the fans do. When you tried to tell Al Davis to go meet Darth Vader before the game.
So we did a sponsorship with Lucasfilms, and they were sponsoring a night game. So we were doing all the things on the video board. I mean, it was a sponsorship. And they sent the stormtroopers over and Darth Vader over, and everybody, the stormtroopers that's what they were called, right?
Yes, yeah, I believe, I'm more, this is going to sound horrible.
Okay, well, they were all dressed up on the sidelines. And so at one point, someone walks over to me and says, because the sponsor wanted this, Amy, you have to get Al to say hi to Darth Vader. So Al Davis is on the sideline. It's pregame warmups. He's watching warmups. This is all going on the sideline. I walk over to him and I said, and I won't swear when I say this, but I walk over to him and I said, I need you to say hello to Darth Vader. And he looks at me and says, who the?
You can say it now. You can say it now. We're so far in.
You can say it for me. Who the?
Oh, so he said, who the fuck is Darth Vader?
Exactly. And that's exactly how he said it. And yet he did it for me. He knew I needed it.
Really? I knew the beginning part of that. I didn't know the finale.
Google it. There's a great picture of him standing there shaking hands with Darth Vader because I asked him to. And look, the sponsor was paying us a lot of money, and the head of the sponsorship for Lucasfilms said Lucasfilms comes over and says, Amy, we need Al to say hi to Darth Vader. So here I am interrupting him when he's watching pregame warmups, and who the is Darth Vader, but he did it.
I love it. I was there a part of you was like, or was it that's what I expected?
No, it was like, well, I got that done. Now let me see what I got to go do.
Next, you're on to the next thing. So when you work for an owner like Al Davis, was that always the thing? It was always moving forward to the next thing. Because you've shown a lot of respect for the Spanos family, and we'll touch on that real quick before you go one more time. But I would imagine Al was very forward thinking all the time, not just because obviously he put you in a place of position, but because he was always just literally trying to win.
Well, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. The team was in some tough circumstances economically, financially, because of decisions, affirmative decisions that he made. And my job was to figure out how to solve that. And we were at a point that was very, 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 very difficult. And I mean, it was a bad situation. And I remember saying to him at one point, I don't understand how you sleep at night. And he said to me, I sleep at night because I know you don't.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Pete, you really have some one-liners here that we really need to save. It's so... let me do this too. My father obviously was my coach for a little bit, and he taught me how to do everything football related. And he said, "Guys, you got to be the smartest guy on the field." So I was. But I'll tell you, he had a respect for certain players within the NFL or coaches or whatever it was. But the way that he would always talk about Al is he was always so devastated that he left the Chargers because he felt that what Al was going to do at some point with whomever it was could have been great for the Chargers. before we let you go, and again, I just want to do this one more time for the people who aren't paying attention. Tell us a little bit about, for just a quick minute or two, about how Al felt about his time with the Chargers. And then also, when you're done, if you could, please tell us where we can find you all over social media, please.
That which he shared with me about his time with the Chargers was that it was very, very, very special time, both in terms of the people with whom he worked and the development in his career. I mean, it was an important stepping stone for him. Never had one negative thing to say about his time there. Never had one negative thing to say about the organization at all. To the contrary.
It's weird because I think that even myself as a child and teenager as I grew up, I would have never expected that to be the case. He's that kind of a guy. Huh? Well, yeah, I'm outside looking in. I'm a child and, teenager. I wasn't plugged in like I was 10 years ago or how I'm trying to be now. It was just one of those things. And, I had a tough relationship with my dad. So sometimes a little bit hard to listen to him, but it was always a little bit interesting to me, the players that he would point out. Ted Hendrickson, obviously, George Atkinson. You guys have several. Cliff Branch, he was a guy that he really, obviously, Fred Biletnikoff. My dad was a former wide receiver, by the way. For anybody who wants to get routed up, I can do it at 46 years old. You just have to be within 10 years of me. That's all. If you're 10 years older, I'm going to hurt you. It'll be bad. I won't embarrass you too bad, but I'm going to break you off. I think it's important that as we establish what it is as a fan base and as an NFL fan base moving forward, that these younger fans, these younger shows, and the folks that have a lot more life to give to this sport than I do, embrace the fact that we are literally all in this together. And it's 32 teams, but it's literally a 32-team business. And it's people like you who've moved this league forward. It's people like Al. It's people like a lot of the different pioneers in this league that don't necessarily get talked about enough. The Hunt family, I'm sure you have the utmost respect for them.
I do.
Even the Bolins. I know they're the Broncos.
I do.
I mean, it's
when
past league.
When I walked into that league owners meeting and I was the only woman there, that was at a time when the league and the Raiders were already in a business dispute. When I joined the Raiders, the league had already sued the Raiders. So team owners had every reason to be not nice to me. And yet men like Ralph Wilson of the Bills, Wellington Mara of the Giants, Lamar Hunt of the Chiefs, and more went out of their way to welcome me and support me and encourage me, for which I shall forever thank them.
Poignant, beautifully spoken, and it's been so much fun. And by the way, if you knew how much ice cream I ate off camera, you would not feel like you topped me. I'll make that very clear.
Okay, two things. You are never getting rid of me. I'll come on whenever you want me. And number two, I just want to make sure you saw my whiskers.
I saw them. And I also saw
and my nose.
Hold on. I got to say this to Amy because it's important to point out. I also saw some guy from a different podcast hijacking our conversation to get you on there. I need to tell you how much I respect you for the way you handled it and said, I will do my best, but I'm busy. But you still left the opportunity open. I will tell you, and you know this as well as I do. By the way, Amy's not just the Princess of Darkness. She's also a CBS sports analyst covering the NFL. Like, she's big, big, big time. Still, not just because of her past accomplishments and past relationships. I just want to say that the grace that you show everyone, even the people who don't deserve it, you're teaching me how to become a much more graceful man and person. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Let's keep this our little secret, but I do get kind of cranky sometimes.
If it's any consolation, Amy, I noticed the nose. The whiskers, that's cool. You're supposed to have that. The nose lands the plane for the cat, and I appreciate
it. Thank you.
Amy, this has been a ball. And
thank you. I've never had this much fun doing one of these, and you're never getting rid of me.
We can't, and I never want to. I just need you to know, as we do our best to kind of reestablish this show and the BoltBlitz thing, my biggest fan is passed, my father, and then my co-host, he passed too. So we're just figuring
just send me links, send me whatever you want. I'm not good at hunting.
No, we'll do better. That's
I'm really
on me.
good at pressing that button that says collaborate or add to story or share this. Send me whatever you want, and I'll push it out.
I cannot by any means allow myself to believe that I have as much knowledge as you, but I'm the same way.
Say, while he continues to fall on his sword, let the record be shown. You flashed the bad signal. I was there, Amy. I got you.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is BoltBlitz Uncut. We're going to stick around for a little bit, but we're going to, of course, allow our gal, Amy Trask. Listen, this is not a Chargers-Raiders rivalry. We're all part of a 32 business league. Amy,
Goodbye. Thank you. I'm going to try to figure out how to
Appreciate you.
close this. I think I just hit a button. Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye, Amy. Listen, I know that there aren't a lot of people out there, especially maybe in the Bolt fam, who are going to get this, but it's not slick. I'm not trying to be goofy or anything like that when I talk about whom taught me what regarding the NFL. I'm a very specific person. You guys all that have been around me for a long time or followed what I've done, I don't really mince my words. And if I do, I apologize and I try to make shit better, and I'm not always good at it. This show had a lot more to it as far as what I tried to plan out. It all didn't transpire, and shit happens. There were a lot of people who wanted to be here. As we close the show out, I gave you the statement from, of course, the Ted and Linda Hendricks. That was huge, man. The Mad Stork followed me. When you're one of your daddy's favorite players from an opposing team is a friend of yours on Facebook, that shit matters. And it doesn't have to matter to you. It matters to me. And then also, I need to do this too. Matt Harmon, or excuse me, I keep calling him Harmon. Matt Hamilton, formerly the producer of Good Morning Football on NFL Network. He is now the producer and occasionally the co-host of the Up and Adams show. He wanted to be here too. He had some scheduling shit that really got in the way. We've got some really special shit planned for you guys. We've got Danny Martinez, MMA badass, and San Diegan. Oh no. Why is he gonna? Oh, wait. Booga P is gonna treat people from certain motherfuckers? Yes. Sorry, Amy's not on the show anymore. I can really go off. I don't care if you don't like San Diego, LA Chargers fans. You're just gonna have to fucking deal with it. And the can's falling. Listen, here's the deal. We've got Danny Martinez is awesome. The messages that we exchanged were great. Unfortunately, Ben Albright also of the Denver Broncos radio team there, the main and best and only good team. He was supposed to be here tonight. That didn't work out. Brendan Malale, no one's going to know, probably not from just the name. Blazer from Dodgeball tried to be here. He was not able. I just wanted him to do the little Viper dance and then sign the fuck off, but it didn't work out. We're working on some really random shit. So was the drummer from Pink, by the way, Mark Schulman. He wanted to try. It didn't work out. I had a lot of people cancel, and yet I hope and pray that folks really enjoyed this shit. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm a little gassy, and nobody wants to be a part of that. This is BoltBlitz Uncut. We kind of just fuck around and have a good time. Sorry about the beer pyramid falling. You see the Funkos in the back. If y'all ever want them or curious about who they are, let me know. I'm Booga Peters. This has been a Raiders edition, an appreciation of the legend, Amy Trask.